Welcome, everybody, to That's Weird Stuff, our show where I share stories of strange and mysterious happenings. This week, we're doing a little tie-in with our other channel over on House 6. We review every Best Picture winner. We're up to Best Picture winner number 10, which is The Life of Emile Zola. So go check that out at our sister site. It's called House 6. The link should be at the bottom of this YouTube page. But for this one, we're going to do a little something different because we usually do Alien or Not, but this time I wanted to do Murder or Not. So I got two stories, and you'll have to guess, or not guess, but you'll have to speculate if it was murder or not. So
we have to condemn someone.
Yes, Emile Zola was a French writer and playwright who left his mark on history when he wrote the newspaper article J'accuse in response to the events of the Alfred Dreyfus affair. Zola died September 29th of carbon monoxide poisoning. The cause of Zola's death was declared to be an accident from an improper ventilated chimney. Many believe that the enemies Zola made during his trial may have been behind his death. During a ceremony of Zola's remains being relocated to the Pantheon in the same crypt as writers Victor Hugo and Alexander Dumas, an assassination attempt was made on the life of Alfred Dreyfus by a rival journalist. In 1953, an article questioned whether Zola had been murdered. In an investigation by journalist Jean Bedel, a pharmacist claims that a chimney sweep told him that he had blocked Zola's chimney. In an interview with the great-granddaughter of Zola, recounted a story by her grandfather about being visited by a man who had told him about a deathbed confession from a friend who claimed to have been paid to block Zola's chimney. So, gentlemen, do you believe that Emile Zola was murdered or not? Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I mean, I saw the movie and the pipe was cracked, so I'm just kidding. Yeah, the actual.
We know the movie was actually a recording.
Based on that recording.
That movie, that shot, I know, but that's an interesting thought because I did find it very, very strange when that came up in the movie. Like, what a coincidence! The day that he's having that whole celebration thing of him getting the thingy. I was like, I mean, I don't know how accurate that is, honestly, if that was the exact day or whatever. But yeah, that's a pretty interesting theory. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if someone did, conspiracy, made a lot of freaking enemies and didn't really care too much about it. I almost went into my thoughts of the movie, but we're not doing that yet. Murder or not? I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go I'm thinking there's some fishy stuff going on with there and that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Thomas, do you smell fish?
That's freedom.
Let's have a stroke. I mean, it's entirely plausible because, like, if you were going to assassinate somebody, this would be the guy to assassinate. Like, he's a political dissident. He's an expose journalist. He's incredibly popular with the people, and he's not popular with most of the ruling governments. So, I mean, I don't know any of the evidence. Like you said, like there's people who claim that they did block his chimney, but would I be surprised? No, but I haven't looked into it. I think it's entirely possible. Yeah. Especially what Michael's talking about, the timing of the situation, because from what I remember, he did die right before Dreyfus came back to France and was released and all that stuff. So kind of a crazy timing,
especially with him being like reinvigorated to dive back into telling the truth of other things and stuff. Because I forget what notes he said he got out at the end of the movie, but
like the basically the fire being lit underneath him again. Yeah. So I think it's entirely possible. Yeah.
Jared, murder or not?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say this was just negligence on their part, but the confession, that was phony. Like the
You know,
the dad's cousin's brother's fiance.
Mom's
What does that
dog
make
sitter.
us? Nothing.
So, what do you guys think
I will
about
applaud-
deathbed confessions? Do you think they're plausible, or
Yes and no, I guess.
do you think it's just people looking to leave their mark on the world?
I mean, best like it's always like questionable if they are like the last words. One of my best line or one of my favorite lines from Star Trek is, I'm going to die alone from Kirk.
One of my best lines, guys.
Well, one of my favorite lines from Star Trek is, "I know I'm going to die alone," and that's kind of true. You always die alone. So, I think deathbed words are very questionable at best. So,
it's kind of a scary thought back then that if someone just wanted to kill you, just clog up your
Yeah,
chimney.
just put a blanket over the top of your house and you're dead.
See, after seeing the movie, I'm like totally convinced that these guys could have done it because they were just like shifty and schemers, and they just wanted the military to look like they were untouchable. So I definitely think they could have just been out for vengeance and maybe have had this guy.
They had
murdered.
Batman on their side.
Mm. Or the Grinch.
he doesn't kill. Or the Grinch.
Vengeance.
So for our next story, we go to Hollywood. So Thelma Todd was an actress who appeared in over 100 films in 100 films with stars like the Marx Brothers, Buster Keaton, and Laurel and Hardy. In 1934, Todd opened a restaurant called Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe with director Roland West and his ex-wife, actress Jewel Carmen. The restaurant was on the first floor of a two-story building that had apartments on the second floor where Todd and West lived. On the morning of December 16th, 1935, Todd's body was found in her car that was parked in the building's garage. After an investigation, the police ruled that Todd's death was an accident after West claimed that he had locked Todd out of the apartment. The police summarizing that Todd had stayed in the car overnight to keep warm. A grand jury ruled Todd's death an accident with a possible suicidal tendencies. However, Todd had an active social life and many friends, and even investigators could not find a motive for her ending her own life. The night before Todd's death, she was said to have an unpleasant run-in with her ex-husband, who had ties with the mob. While police did find contusions on Todd's lower lip, and there had been rumors that Todd's body had other signs of injury, the police said that the injury to the lip was superficial. So, Thelma Todd, was it murder or not? This time we'll start with Jared.
This one was murder.
Why do you say-
She sounded roughed up. Why would you
Yep.
rough yourself up before? So I'm gonna say murder.
Murder, not accident. Okay, Thomas, what do you think?
What was the time period again? Like the year?
The year was 1935.
Yeah, definitely in mob hit. Like,
You think so?
well, I mean, 1930s, like in Hollywood, yeah, they definitely, yeah.
True. Michael?
Murderers. This could be aliens, guys. Could have been a sneak attack by aliens. They probed her, put her back, and they're done. But they probed to the lip. That's what they did. No, I don't know. Yeah, probably. I mean, you just dying in your car is weird. In the night, that's weird. It's all weird. I would assume probably death, but there's not really a lot. We need a movie about it, then we can decide if it was death or not. That's what we need. Get on it, Hollywood. Make the movie.
Make that. Like Thomas said, back then, Hollywood, the police in California, Southern California, weren't known to be very upstanding. Yeah. So they definitely could have just said, hey, we're going to cover this up for the mob or something like that. So, yeah, I think this one is very sketchy as well. So I think that's going to do it for weird stuff. So like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more weird stuff. Go check out House 6 for our review of the life of Emile Zola, and we will see you next time. Bye.